When this month's Sony State of Play reached its closing moments, fewer people expected one of the most explosive announcements in PlayStation's history to arrive so quietly. There were no extended trailers, no dramatic gameplay showcases, and no deep development breakdown. Instead, just a simple reveal confirmed that the original Greek saga of Kratos is being fully rebuilt. The God of War Trilogy Remake is officially in development at Santa Monica Studio, and that single confirmation has already divided the gaming world. For longtime fans, of course, this trilogy's sacred ground. The original God of War, released in 2005 and introduced players to a brutal Spartan warrior, was consumed by rage and betrayal. God of War 2 expanded that scale into something even more ambitious, and God of War 3 delivered a thunderous finale that pushed the PlayStation 3 to its limits. And these were not just small games, they were cinematic spectacles filled with towering titans, gods, and a version of Kratos who was far less restrained from the father we met years later in 2018's Norse reboot. Now, this remake project is not a remaster. That distinction is important because the Greek trilogy has already received HD collections in the past, which cleaned up the textures and improved resolutions. What is being developed right now is described as a full remake, meaning rebuilt visuals, modern systems, and likely redesigned mechanics. That scale explains why there was no gameplay footage shown. Development appeared to be in its earliest phase, and early announcements often mean long waits. Fans have voiced mixed feelings about this thing. Excitement is obvious, but so is quite a bit of frustration. Many players are tired of hearing about projects that may not release for 3 to 5 years. Some comments across gaming forums suggest that Sony has a pattern of announcing major titles far ahead of launch to satisfy investors and, build long-term anticipation. And while that strategy creates hype, it can also create fatigue. Players do remember long development cycles like Metroid Prime 4, which was released years before it even became tangible. No one really wants another extended silence like that. Still, however, the ambition here cannot be overstated. Remaking all 3 Greek-era games in one cohesive package is an enormous undertaking. These games were built with fixed camera angles, heavy combo-driven combat, and a design philosophy rooted in early 2000s action games. Today's players are used to over-the-shoulder perspectives, weightier combat systems, and deeper character storytelling. The big question right now is whether Santa Monica Studio will preserve the classic structure or reshape it to resemble the modern Norse entries. There are strong hints right now that change is coming. One of which is Christopher Judge, who voiced Kratos in the Norse saga, has mentioned publicly that he'll not be reprising the role of these remakes. Instead, T.C. Carson, the original voice of Kratos from the Greek trilogy, is returning. That decision suggests respect for the legacy tone of these games, whereas Carson's performance carried a different energy, sharper, angrier, more explosive. Keeping him involved shows that the studio understands how important authenticity is to longtime fans. And at the same time, reports indicate that the remakes will include new combat systems and updated mechanics, which alone raises a lot of fascinating possibilities. The original trilogy railed on chained blade combos, quick time events, some massive cinematic boss encounters. While those elements were groundbreaking at the time, some may feel dated today. Modernizing combat could mean deeper skill trees, more weighty animations, and perhaps even subtle narrative expansions that bridge the Greek and the Norse eras more clearly. And another layer to this discussion is hardware. With no release window confirmed right now, speculations naturally shifted toward the next console generation. In fact, rumors suggest that a PlayStation 6 could arrive around 2028. If that timeline holds true, maybe the God of War trilogy could become a flagship launch title for the next generation of PlayStation hardware, much like God of War Ragnarok helped define the PlayStation 5 era. Launching alongside new hardware would allow the remake to showcase advanced lighting, faster loadings, more detailed environments than ever before. That possibility, of course, excites some fans and at the same time frustrates a lot of other ones. On one hand, the Greek saga deserves the most powerful hardware available. On another hand, it means the wait could stretch several years. Given the project's scale, 2026 is unlikely to bring major updates. Santa Monica Studio has promised when more information arrives, it'll be substantial. For now, well, patience is the only option. Price and speculations has also entered the conversation. Recent PlayStation remakes such as The Last of Us Part 1 launched at a premium price point of $70. If Sony positions the God of War Trilogy Remake as a fully rebuilt unified package containing 3 games, well, that price seems probable. However, there is also a chance that Sony could offer a slightly lower price to encourage new players to experience Kratos' origin story before the next mainline installment. And what makes this remake particularly meaningful is timing. Well, the announcement came during the franchise's 20th anniversary celebration, 2 decades after Kratos first screamed his defiance at gods. His earliest journey is being rebuilt for a new audience. That symbolic timing suggests this project is not just about nostalgia, it's about preservation of evolution. The Greek saga, most of you know, is darker, more violent than the Norse. It explores rage without restraint. Modern audiences know Kratos as a father. Returning to his earlier years mean confronting a version of the character who was driven almost entirely by vengeance. That contrast could hit harder than ever when rendered with modern storytelling tools. If Santa Monica Studio chooses to refine character development, expand certain story beats, or deepen emotional context, these remakes could do more than just retell history. They could reframe it. Yet with ambition, of course, comes risk. Changing too much could alienate longtime fans who love the original gameplay style. Changing too little could make the experience feel outdated. Balancing nostalgia and innovation will be the studio's greatest challenge right now. With all things considered, all we truly know is that development has begun. T.C. Carson is returning to voice Kratos, and Santa Monica Studios treating this as a full remake. Everything else is speculation shaped by patterns in the industry and hints from those close to the project. What remains undeniable is the impact of the announcement. Even without gameplay footage, the idea of reliving Kratos' war against the Greek gods as a completely rebuilt form is just powerful. The wait could be long, the silence could stretch for years, but when Kratos finally steps back onto the shores of Olympus, rebuilt for modern hardware, it will not just be a remake, we all know that. It'll be a return to the rage that started everything.